Khazad-dûm was the greatest of the dwarf realms in Middle-earth. Its vast and beautiful halls lay under the Misty Mountains. From its mine came great riches, and it was the only source of the precious metal called a Mithril. But a Balrog slept in the depths beneath Khazad-dûm, and when it awoke the dwarves were driven from their homes. The halls of Khazad-dûm were taken over by orcs and other evil creatures. It became known as Moria, the Black Chasm. It was a place of fear and dread. Khazad-dûm was located in the Misty Mountains under the three mountains of Moria, Cloudyhead, the Redhorn, and the Silvertine. On the eastern side of Khazad-dûm was the Dwarrowdelf, where the Lake of Mirrormere lay. On the western side was the region known as Eregion, or Holin. The halls of Khazad-dûm stretched about 40 miles from east to west. The eastern entrance to Khazad-dûm was the Dimril Gate, or East Gate. The great gates were hung on towering doorposts. Inside were the earliest halls and passages made by the dwarves, later known as Old Moria. The first hall had high windows on the eastern side that let in light. A wide road led from the first hall down a broad set of steps to the first deep, the level just below the Dimril Gate, at a distance of about a quarter mile. At the foot of the stairs was a deep abyss spanned by the bridge of Khazad-dûm. The bridge was 50 feet long, and was narrow with no railing. It had been built as a defense against any invader who might get past the Dimril Gate and take the first hall. On the other side of the abyss was the second hall, a vast chamber with a double row of pillars in the centre. The pillars were tall and were carved like trees. The tops of their branches supported the high ceiling. Beyond the second hall, the underground city spread out in a vast and intricate network of passages, stairs, rooms, and halls. There were many streams and wells throughout the city. The dwarves hung crystal lamps to illuminate their city, and many of the upper chambers had high windows in the mountainside. One such chamber was the 21st hall on the 7th level, a huge hall with doors on each side and towering stone pillars and polished black walls. Down the corridor from the northern door of the 21st hall, on the right side, was the Chamber of Marzabul, or the Chamber of Records. From the western door of the 21st hall, a wide road led eastward and downward. The road grew narrower near the bottom, and ended in an archway where it met two other corridors also coming from the east, one running straight, and one coming up from the deeps. There was a guard room at the juncture of the three corridors. In the third deep of Khazad-dûm were the upper armories. Far below were the treasuries of the dwarves. In the mines of Khazad-dûm were found gold, silver, iron, bells, pearls, opals, and other precious metals and gems. The lodes of Mithril were deep under the mountains, running north towards the roots of the Redhorn. On the peak of the Silvertine, which the dwarves called Zirac-Zigil, stood Durin's Tower. The tower was carved out of the living rock of the mountain and stood high upon the Eyrie. A spiral staircase of many thousand steps called the Endless Stair led to the tower from the foundations of the mountain. At the western end of Khazad-dûm, a flight of 200 stairs led down to the western gate, called the Hollin Gate. There hung the doors of Durin, made by the dwarf craftsman Narvi and engraved by the elf craftsman Celebrimbor. On the doors were drawings and writings traced with Ithildin, a silvery substance made from Mithril. At the top was an inscription, reading, "The doors of Durin, Lord of Moria, say friend, and enter. I, Narvi, made them. Celebrimbor of Eregion drew these signs." Beneath the inscription were 7 stars over a crown and a hammer and anvil. Below these were drawn 2 trees representing Galathilion, the tree of the High Elves. In the middle of the door was the star of the House of Fëanor. From inside, the doors could be opened outward with a push, but from the outside, they could only be opened by speaking the password, Melon, or friend. 2 great holly trees stood on either side of the Hollin Gate. Siranan, the gate stream, flowed through the valley in front of the gate and over a waterfall called the Stair Falls. A road ran alongside the stream from the gate and down the cliff near the waterfall. There was also a flight of stairs beside the falls.